everyone, what's poppin'? Welcome back. Welcome back. Yesterday was fun. Welcome back to a new episode of Lunchtime Reviews, Views, sometimes some news. Just whatever it is that I'm wanting to talk about that day, just during my little lunchtime. That's whatever. So today I am a work from home cutie. I'm wearing comfortable clothes. I have my blanket. It's a warming blanket, which is very important, so I'm always nice and toasty, as opposed to when I have to go to the office and I'm freezing. As you know, that's how they do it. I have all my beverages because I'm very comfortable, so I have my tea, a little sparkling water, and my regular water because it's the new year and we're going to be hydrated this year. No dehydration, that's not good. We're gonna be very hydrated this year. Anyway, I would like to talk about what I watched last night. What I watched last night was Squidgame. I finished it. I finished the new season. I say season because, you know, WTF was that. But we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it just a little bit. Not too much, not too in-depth, but just wanted to put my thoughts out there while it's fresh in my mind. So last night, my partner and I finished Squidgame Season 2. We finished it over a course of a few days. We didn't just binge the whole thing in one night or anything, nothing crazy. But overall, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. The first season was really good. As we know, it was a really good show. It could have been a standalone show, but they didn't want to do that. So this is, Squidgame Season 2, The Search for More Money, which is what Netflix is doing. They're just searching these, we found something that's successful, so let's just milk it for everything that it's worth. Like with anything that's popular. So that is what they're doing, and we're just shilling out the money like we usually do for if you didn't have a subscription, signing back up just so you can get access to it. Yeah, so just a breakdown of what the season entailed without giving too much away. I'm just gonna say what comes into my head. I don't have a script or anything. I'm just gonna say what comes into my head. So if I say spoilers, I'm sorry. That might happen, might not happen. I don't know. But basically, the story picks up with our boy, the main guy from the last one who won, the winner, and he is trying to find the people that do the games. He wants to make it stop. He's a very traumatized person, which that's how I categorize what's going on with him, is that he's very traumatized. He was supposed to go to US to be with his daughter, but he decided to not get on the plane, and now he's just kind of hiding in this hotel, and he has these people out in the subways and everywhere looking for the guy in the suit who does the gambling game. He's sent them out to find him. Long story short, they do find him, and they are able to follow him to the person who is running the games, and basically he gets himself back into the games, because we know this is all about the games. We're like, at some point they're gonna get into the games. So he has gotten himself into the new game, and he is going back to the island. So he's going back to that. He has this little plan. Well, he doesn't really have a plan. That's my whole thing. He doesn't have a plan. He does not know what he's doing. I have decided he does not know what he's doing. He doesn't have a plan. He just knows what he wants his end game to be. His end game is that he somehow wants to make this stop. This is bad. This is evil. This is wrong. And it needs to stop. So he wants to spend a lot of his time and money and energy trying to do that. So he has hired all these hired guns, I guess mercenaries, and they're gonna follow him when he's taken to the island. He's got a little implant in his tooth. And so that's the plan, is that they're gonna find him, they're gonna go to the island. I guess they're just gonna raid the island and rescue the people, and that's gonna be that's the plan. That is the plan. I don't think it's a great plan, because here's my thing. Even if you stop the games in one area, wouldn't they just pick it up and move it to another area the next year? I mean, there's so much money involved in this. There's just so much involved in this. How is stopping this one game going to stop them all? But that's beside the point. I guess. We're just gonna go do that. So he gets on the island, games are starting up, and another thing I want to say about this season, I don't feel like they did as much character development with everybody's story. We're getting bits and pieces, but they're not really developing the characters the way they did in the first season, where you really felt for them. You really understood their stories. And they didn't really do as much character development, I feel, with everyone. There's a really great character who's a trans character, and that's really awesome, and she's really cool and badass, and I love saying that. But even her, I don't feel like they developed her enough, they didn't put more into her story. But that's that. So he gets to the island, and of course these people are they I guess they do like a body scan or whatever, but before they put you in the game. But his little implant is gone. So they go to the first game, and my thing is like he's really, I felt like he took kind of a backseat at first. Maybe he didn't know what he was going to do. I guess his idea was that his mercenaries were going to storm the whole place, and he would just save everyone, and that's how things would go down. But then he realizes, as before the first game, like the red light, green light, they kept that game. He realizes his implant has been taken, and he has no backup, so he does not know what he's going to do. So in the first game, before it starts, that's when he's like, oh my god, they're gonna kill you all, they're gonna kill everyone, you don't know. So that's when he starts to do that, when I feel like he should have done that before the game even started, back in the bunkers. He should have said it then. It's like, why isn't he saying anything? Because there's an opportune moment to do it when everybody's having their debates and everything before they go out to the game, but he doesn't say anything. He just doesn't say anything. Until it's too late, until they're already there. We know what's going to happen. But he develops a strategy as they're going that helps a lot of people, but as we know, like, it basically, once it happens, once people start to die, once that starts to happen, of course there's like panic and people start running and stuff like that. And that's just how that goes. But anyway, so it from there, the story is kind of like the last season, where it's on the games, we're learning more about the characters, not as much as in the past, but it's very, very exciting. It is exciting. That's actually when it gets good. So from the beginning of this season, it started very slow, and then once they get into the games and stuff, then it gets more exciting. It gets really good. You get really invested. You want certain people to win. You want to know, it's like, what's our lead guy gonna do? And it progresses so and so like that until the last episode. This is where a lot of my beef comes in. The last episode, I was just like, what is that? Like what are we doing here? Because it reminded me, the last episode reminded me, when you're watching a horror film and it's really good and they've done this very slow build and they've done all this stuff, and at the very end they're just like, and it was all a dream, or they just do something very, I just felt like they just did something out of the blue, and it wasn't where the story was progressing. And I just don't know. I just don't know. It escalated very quickly into something else, because one of the plot points, which I thought was an interesting twist, is that this time, after every game, people will vote whether or not to stay or whether or not to go. So what they'll do is that they'll do, blue circle, red X, and you decide if you want to stay or go. The X's are the people that want to go home. They've had enough of it. But you get to keep whatever amount of money has been accumulated at that point. So you could leave with some money at that point. And what they do is that when you say X or O, they'll give you that and you put it on your lapel. And what this does, which is interesting, is that of course this divides people. People are divided, and the people that want to stay versus the people that want to go home, and that creates this this dynamic of us versus them. It creates another level to it. So on the last episode, they try to do it again. They vote to stay, they vote to go. And it ends up being a 50-50 vote. And in the clause, they said, well, you guys sleep on it. We're going to do another vote in the morning because it's got to be a majority vote. One way or the other, it has to be a majority. So, of course, that night, the blue circle people, they decide to attack the X people that have decided to go home, which is where the side that our boy is on, the main guy. And he's on that side. And so what they do is that, so the O's are killing a lot of people. And the plan is that when at a certain point, the people in the red suits, the people running the game, they're gonna come in and break it up. They only want a certain amount of people to die, like, because they need a certain amount of people for the game to continue. So that is their plan. So Ji-hoon, I think it's Ji-hoon, lead guy, his plan is that when they do that, they're going to some of them are going to pretend to be dead, and then they're going to take the guns. So that's what happened. They come in and they take the guns and they're taking over. But what I don't understand is the blue people are just standing there. Like the blue people, they're the ones that attacked and killed a bunch of people. And then while this is going on, they're just kind of like chilling and staying back. And so the story goes from that part, and then all of a sudden it flips and changes, and now their whole idea is that they want to get out alive. The X people, the red X people, they want to get out alive. That is their goal. They want to take some money, but I guess they're just going to try to escape now, and that is the plan. It does not go well because it just doesn't go well. But of course the people in charge don't want that to happen. They have a little bit of upper hand, but there's also a spy in their midst, and you'll learn more about that. I don't want to go into explain that, but my only thing is that it just felt like it went in another direction. And then at the end of the season, they just they basically kind of lose this battle, and the spy kills his friend or whatever. And it's also very shocking, but it ends, and I'm like, wait, is that the last episode? And sure enough, it was the last episode. But it's, to me, where they ended it, that's not a season, because they said season 3, the final season's coming 2025. And in my mind, I'm like, but that's not a season. That is not what they're doing. This is not a complete season. They split the season, is what they did. They split it. Because they didn't complete any story. There's no cycle completion. There's no completion of any of the story, anything. It's just, the next season's gonna be coming. It's like, but that's not you didn't give us a complete season. And that's, that's the nature of business, and that's what Netflix is doing. They don't want people to cancel their subscription. Like, I binged it, and now I'll cancel it because there's nothing else I want to watch on Netflix because they don't have programming the way they used to. But that was kind of my feeling, is just, I just felt like the last episode was kind of lazy. It went completely in a different direction, in my opinion. Overall, I did think it's good. It's good. I was entertained. But at the last episode, just I wasn't happy with it. I will tune into the next season, but that was my thought about it. So what did you guys think? Did you like it? Are you super excited? Are you stoked for season 3, the final season, the search for even more money for Netflix? But let me know in the comments. But I hope you have a great day. Lunch is almost over. But yeah, enjoy your day. Bye.